Hey, what's up, party people? It's Brad Large. I am back with you. I wanted to talk about some requirements for seminary that I found out. One of the first questions that some seminaries will ask you is whether you are male or female. So there are lots of requirements for different seminaries, and it really kind of depends on your denomination and your goals. So just my personal scenario, I've been in the military, and because of that, I wanted to go into the chaplain corps, and I thought, what is that going to take? And you need to get a Master's of Divinity for that program. There are lots of ways to become ordained. Not all of them require seminary, but I think all the serious ones require some type of formal education. And so that's something that a lot of people are interested in. All of the information I'm going to give you today really comes with a big caveat, which is that it really depends on the seminary. I am Presbyterian. There are a lot of Presbyterian seminaries that are actually very strict and demanding with their entry requirements. And I think that can be a good thing, ensuring academic rigor and that the reputation of their school is good. And I can appreciate all that. Some of them require 120 some quarter hours. So I'm going to give you the straight answer right here. Most seminary programs are master's level programs. They require a bachelor's degree, usually with a 2.0 GPA. Some are higher. But if you do that, then there will be some kind of questionnaire that goes along with your application asking if you are a member of a local church and if you're a member in good standing with your local church, and just some basic questions like, basically, are you attending a church? Have you made a confession of faith? And do you have the prerequisite education needed to be successful in this environment? And so that's the very basic portion of it. Hey, real quick, if you're getting something out of this video, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's a simple way for you to show some support, and I would really appreciate it. So thanks. Now, I was not joking earlier when I said that one of the first questions is, are you a man? In some seminaries, they will not actually admit you into the seminary program or master's program if you are a woman, because the intent of the program is to churn out pastors. And according to biblical requirement, that women are not supposed to be pastors. And so there are other theological programs that women can be admitted to for masters, but seminary not being one of them for some programs. And so that's something to take into consideration as well. There are literally some programs that just will not admit you if you're female. There are many that will admit you, so it's not like a blocking thing, but some of the more reformed traditions will not admit that. So that's something to consider. Another thing you'll want to consider are residency requirements. This was a big consideration for me, being that I work remote, I homeschool my kids, I have 3 kids and a wife. It's not something that I wanted to do, was to move my family across the country to go to the seminary that I would prefer. That is literally the seminary that I would want to go to is basically across the country and requires residency. That just wasn't an option for me. So I ended up going with a program that had a 100% online program that I could just do that in my off time. And so far, I'm in my first semester of it, and it's still pretty demanding. So that's something to consider as well. Most master's level programs are going to be very demanding as far as reading and writing. So that's something to consider as well. I guess the last consideration that I would leave you with is it really depends on what program you're going to, but most master's level theological study programs are around 75 hours. I think for Masters of Divinity, you're sitting at minimum of 75 hours. Some are 93, some are over 100 quarter hours. So it really just depends on where you're going and the course of study, but that could take you up to 3 years to finish that program. There are other master's levels certifications that you can go for. So if you do have your bachelor's degree, you can go into a lower level program like a 36-hour theological program or something like that. That may be enough for your denomination. So you want to look at the denomination in which you want to be ordained in and see what their requirements are. But I think the basics are, that they're going to make sure that you've studied the Bible, that they're going to give you basic theological concepts to wrestle with and work through so that you are prepared to pastor and mentor other people who may have pretty, deep theological questions that they want to wrestle with and ask you about. And again, just to reiterate, the why is important. If you do want to go into some specific chaplaincy program, most of those require a Master's of Divinity, and you have to go through the full Master's program. But there are denominations out there where you may just want to get ahead in your studies so that you feel equipped to be a minister, to participate more fully in your church by being a leader and leading on those things, leading small groups and teaching at your church, becoming an elder or something like that. There may be less education requirements for that. So let me know down in the comments what you want to go to seminary for, what your end goal is. What are some things that you are worried about standing in your way for that? And if I know the answer, then I'll let you know what I've found out, but I'd really like to hear from you.